is going on, guys? How y'all doing once again here on this late Sunday afternoon? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are live for another live review on this channel of my WWE Smackdown live review from the April 23rd, 2021 edition of Smackdown that took place, as always, at the WWE Thunderdome at the Yuengling Center in Tampa, Florida. We are now a few weeks away from WrestleMania Backlash. We had another decent episode of Smackdown. It didn't knock my socks off, but it was decent. We're not going to go in order for this review. There's just a few things we're going to talk a little bit in depth about. Particularly what's going on in the main event scene with Roman Reigns. And also we had a return on this week's episode of SmackDown. We will talk about that. About the same that I felt last week. I didn't hate SmackDown. A little confused on some things. I'm like, okay, but I'll say it was decent. It was a decent show, and we'll go from there. So first, as always, as this is going to be the second time, and there'll be two more times tonight, I will be going live tonight, which I will mention that at the end of this video, as I'm in a little bit of a pinch here, a little bit of a rush. Gotta do one or two things after this before I head up to my friend Joe's house, apartment, and we'll talk about at the end what we'll be doing there. So first, live chat. We got Tyler. What's up, buddy? He gave this show a C- and said, "Stop putting Bryan in more world title matches." We'll talk about that at the end. I do have something I kind of want to say about that, and it's gonna definitely sound a little bit harsh coming from someone who's Daniel Bryan's #1 fan. I gotta say that I do kind of agree. But we'll talk about that, though, when we get to it. But as always, guys, thank you for joining me live. Again, I will kind of spend maybe about as much time as I did from the last review. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. But, so I'm a little bit of a time crunch here. Gotta leave in about 40 minutes maybe or so. So we'll see what we can get out of this review here. So like I said, I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to just skip around a little bit first. On this show, we had, I'll skip the stuff with the world title scene till the end. But we had, on the show, Apollo Crews having his first title defense as Intercontinental Champion since he won the match at the Nigerian drum fight at WrestleMania as Commander Aziz, who I'm still thinking is actually Dabba-Kato with, just a different name change. I'm not too sure. Let me actually look that up. Is Commander Aziz Dabba-Kato? Dabba-Kato. WWE. Let me see here. Yes, he is. That is Dabba-Kato. I just checked I just Googled it myself. But yes, he is. Dabba-Kato is Commander Aziz is Dabba-Kato, who the only spotlight he really had before he's been given this role was Raw Underground. Apollo Crews is going to be having his first title defense on this show. Apparently, they confront Adam Pearce. They're not happy that they have to defend the Intercontinental title, as usual. Most heels are. The person he took on, though, was Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens had an interview where he stated that he has been waiting for the opportunity to battle for the IC title for a while. Of course, Owens is a former 2-time Intercontinental Champion, a 3-time United States Champion, and a 1-time Universal Champion. Big E, though, arrived and states that Owens jumped the line to receive a title shot, adding that it is his title, not Cruz's or Owens' title. Obviously, Big E is going to have a little bit of thing to say about that. Eventually, though, we did have Apollo Crews defeat Big E for the Intercontinental Championship, thanks to some distraction from Commander Aziz. Of course, I think there was some. I can't remember when it was, but I remember there was some point in the match where it looked like Owens said something like a little bit goofy. I forgot what he said. I remember thinking it was a little bit goofy. This is the best you got, and I forgot what he said. But he said some type of like comedic trash talk that I thought was pretty funny. It was something similar to like back on a house show in 2016 where he was wrestling Roman Reigns and some fan was trashing him and Owens was saying stuff back to him like, about how much he sells in merchandise, and as this is going on, Roman is just smirking like crazy, trying not to laugh in a rest hold. Again, he was saying some type of trash to Apollo. He's saying some type of trash talk to Apollo at one point in this match that made me think of that. But he lost the match though, and of course I think with rolling up the tights, Kevin Owens then gave Cruz the stunner after the match, but then Commander Aziz took out Owens with the Nigerian nail. It's basically Umaga's Samoan spike, but instead they're calling it the Nigerian nail, I think it is. He took Owens out with that. But as he stands tall, Sami Zayn, who was on commentary, comes out and just does some goofy dance moves around Owens' body. Sami could go, I'll give it to him, but yeah, obviously that this feud with Owens and Zayn isn't over yet. Like I said, WrestleMania Backlash, I quit match. Do it. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, I quit. Please. I want to see that. And then later on, we had Apollo Crews gloating about retaining his title, but then Big E attacked him. And so, yeah, we're not done with this Big E and Apollo Crews feud. Besides that, we also had Tamina take on Nia Jax. Also, Reggie is back. Ugh. But apparently Tamina defeated Nia Jax. So, let me get this straight. You have Shayna Baszler taking all the pins in the world for Nia Jax. Yet the one person that you're able to let them pin Nia Jax is Tamina. Hey! Yeah. Moving on from that, what else do we have here that happened on this show? I'll skip to that as well. The only other thing that really happened besides the other things that happened, we had an interview with, we had two other things. We had an interview with Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. The Street Profits interrupted them, and basically they said something where it's like, you guys got multiple opportunities when we were tag champs, so why can't we, or something like that? Which I'm just like, that's the best way you could have to continue the story with the Street Profits and the Dirty Dogs. I'm sorry, the other week or so, I think it was last week, whenever Ziggler and Roode defended the titles against Street Profits should have just won the tag titles back. I'm sorry. Ziggler and Roode are just literally barely doing anything with those tag titles. Nothing. At least Street Profits actually were on TV doing stuff with them and not just being off TV like Ziggler and Roode. So I would have rather had them get the tag titles back, but basically they're still coming for the tag titles. But then again, there is nobody else to fight for them other than them, Alpha Academy, and the Mysterios. But then also, Bayley interrupts. And she reveals that she's going to be facing Bianca Belair at WrestleMania Backlash. Why? I don't know why. Not Sasha. But then basically she starts talking some trash about Bianca Belair. But then Montez Ford, the real life husband of Bianca Belair, pulls out his phone and puts on speakerphone, reveals that Bianca's on the phone. Bianca then arrived at their commercial break and tries to intimidate Bayley, who backtracks on what she had said, and then Bayley then just laughs and walks away about something about the honeymoon phase or something like that. So I don't know, weird shit. And then also we had Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio take on the Alpha Academy for the millionth time, and they won. So now let's talk about the two biggest talking points, though, from this episode. First, we'll check the live chat before we go on there. Tyler says, give someone else a shot at Roman Reigns, which will be happening. Again, I'll get to that stuff in a second. What's up, Tyler? Mark? He says, how in the hell is Miss Ding Dong Hello getting a title shot when she hasn't done anything? That is true. She did get taken out by the Bellas at WrestleMania, which, that was stupid. Let me see here. When is Aleister Black getting back in the ring? We'll talk about him in just a second. Where in the hell is Sasha Banks? She was here last week, but not this week, and now all of a sudden Bayley's getting her title shot, which I would have loved to have seen. What I predicted in my WrestleMania Backlash card predictions, Sasha and Bianca, 30-minute Iron Woman match. I think those two are fit for that match. So I hope whenever we do see that rematch with Sasha and Bianca, maybe we're waiting off on that, but we do get it though, Iron Woman match. That'd be pretty darn awesome. Get rid of those women's tag titles, I wish. All tag teams seem boring, yes. This Universal title match next week. How are they going to write Daniel Bryan off TV? We'll talk about that in a second. And just call it Backlash. I agree. I thought they were going to be calling it WrestleMania Backlash as well, all the rematches and the storylines coming out of that, but there isn't too many so far that we're having. So, yeah, they should have just called it Backlash, as they should have. But let's talk about the two big talking points, though, from this show. The first one was the return of Aleister Black. So there's a video package for Aleister Black as he's sitting in some room surrounded by candles, talking about some tales of the dead or something like that. I don't know, they were trying. The whole imagery and the graphics and everything kind of reminded me of it in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 is when they were reading the story of about the Deathly Hallows, like the three brothers of death. Aleister was reading some tale about being the dragon and something about basically about a father being an asshole and then you being him becoming his father being the dragon, but then him becoming the dragon and becoming him or something like that. Some random thing, but basically like one chapter in it, but just some dark religious, some type of a dark priest basically. I was kind of interested with this. Like I said, like I've always said, even when Aleister Black first turned heel last summer, I feel like Aleister Black, to me, has always had a character that could either be easily booked either face or heel. Like the dynamic is evenly balanced for his character. And I felt this kind of fell somewhere in line of what his NXT gimmick was. Somewhat. Not 100%. Well, the big glasses was a tad out of character for him, I felt. I just felt that didn't quite fit. But, to me, a little more intriguing than the whole, come to my door and pick a fight with me. Pick a fight. And then whatever the heck they had him as with the one eye, thing when he first turned heel and had that pointless feud with Kevin Owens that ended up going absolutely nowhere with it. But this intrigued me. Like I said, I feel like this, like I said before, earlier on, when Aleister Black first came to WWE and NXT, was first, instantly became a fan of his. I felt that he felt more like a heel. But like I said, he still felt natural, but in the fact that I felt like his character could have either easily been taken as a face or as a heel. And whether to keep him face or heel right now, I don't know. But I'm just like, this could work. I believe it could work. Problem is, do I trust WWE? Because as great as Aleister Black is, this past summer, within a week, he was, still holding strong, and then, bam, cut his legs off. instantly cut his legs off, and he was literally just like went from like here to like, and then hit rock bottom at the draft, and he wasn't seen since. I thought he was gone. I seriously thought, especially after they released Zelina Vega, his real life wife, I thought he was gone too. But I've heard rumors he was dealing with some minor injuries, which is more the reason why he was gone for a while. So he's back. They may be trying to do something with him. But do you trust WWE to really, make this work? I think if WWE took the cuffs off Aleister and just let him do what he was doing before, he'll be fine. But the moment they start sticking their hands into this, it's just going to flub. So, like I said, this feels more like what he was before. It's just, I don't trust WWE with him, especially with how quick they cut him off last summer. I don't know if I can trust him still with Aleister Black anymore. I don't. So, we'll see what happens. I hope it works out for him, but I'm still not completely trusting WWE to, roll with it and actually do something good with it. But yeah, so Aleister's back. And like I said, we'll see where we go with that. Let me see here. So then, the only other thing left to talk about is the storyline with Cesaro, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, everyone else is involved in this. So, let's just talk about everything that happened first on the show. Cesaro came out to the ring to start the show, but then Seth Rollins interrupted him and noted being in the ring with him at WrestleMania allowed Cesaro to fulfill his potential. He's then Seth is basically saying how Cesaro would not have had the WrestleMania moment if it wasn't for him. But he's trying to say, yes, you may have won, but you only won because of me. Being just the rain delay kind of affected you, this and that. And then Jey Uso come out and kicks off at Cesaro also as well. Obviously not happy with him either. But then Rollins was like, yo, Uso, you and I, team up and teach Cesaro a lesson. But then out came Daniel Bryan, claiming he has a lot of respect for Cesaro. But then hypes up the fact that he believes Cesaro should be getting this title shot, as he's all behind. He basically, Daniel Bryan basically came out acting like Cesaro's number one fan. And this whole show, Daniel Bryan was acting like Cesaro's number one fan. Then out came Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman. Reminds everyone that he promised what would happen at WrestleMania. And then, he basically, showed off, his shirt, saying something about, how Bryan was stacked at the bottom. His shirt basically had, a image of him stacking Edge and Bryan on top of each other. And then it leads to a tag match with Cesaro and Bryan taking on Rollins and Uso. And the babyfaces won, but Bryan got the pin, which I was surprised. Why didn't Cesaro get the pin on this? And then Bryan calls out Roman, but Cesaro starts swinging Jey instead, basically saying that, gotta come out here, but, obviously you don't care about your cousin, you only care about yourself. Cesaro kept swinging Jey to punish him, but then Bryan says that Roman's afraid of Cesaro, and he says Cesaro will defeat him for the Universal title. Which, of course, is all pissed off Jey Uso. Daniel Bryan was telling Adam Pearce at one point in the night to do more than you can to try to set up Roman Reigns and Cesaro. It's well, it's not as simple as it looks, but it's hello, what happened with, the whole thing of, if you want an opportunity, all you had to do was ask. Now it's I don't know if I can do that, I'm going to try to make it happen, I can't guarantee anything. It's just so one moment you can just make matches for the hell of it, next moment it's a process, the inconsistency there is, weird as hell and everything. Paul Heyman had an interview where he was asked if Roman will accept Cesaro's challenge. He knows that Roman will give him an answer tonight. And then the closing segment happens. Cesaro and Bryan come out to the ring, where Cesaro demands Roman to give him an answer. Roman comes out and starts talking down Cesaro and saying, no, you don't deserve this, you're not on my level. But speaking of opportunities, he looks over at Bryan and says, I want to give one last shot to you. As he claims he has never liked Daniel Bryan. Which I'm thinking, storyline wise, he has a reason to, but he basically challenged Bryan, gave him one final shot at the Universal Championship. But when Bryan loses, Bryan can never be shown on SmackDown ever again. Not just on, he didn't say all of TV, not Raw or NXT, but he cannot be seen on SmackDown ever again. And Cesaro tells Bryan to take it. And Bryan accepts. So this was kind of weird. This booking, I like how the story with Cesaro here, they're basically telling the truth. Cesaro has worked his ass off his entire tenure here at the company, and he has not really been given that opportunity. I like that. I like that simple story there. And, if they were going to go ahead and have, Cesaro having to, prove to Seth Rollins that his WrestleMania thing was not a fluke, then fine. That made me think, okay, WrestleMania Backlash, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, 2 out of 3 falls, where gets a Universal title shot. That works, right? But now we're still having Daniel Bryan get involved. And again, you are talking to one of the biggest Daniel Bryan fans in the world. But I gotta be real. His booking lately, especially with the story with him and Roman, I don't know, I had completely different expectations for it, but something's just off with it. So, first off, here's the thing. The story of the whole time with Bryan and Reigns was the fact that Bryan was saying stuff after he had he lost his opportunity when he won the chamber match and then Roman defeated him. He's saying how, he was trying to, be a veteran, put other people over, this, and that. Cool. But then, came WrestleMania, he realized, no, I don't want to do that anymore. Now I want to get my shot back at the top. He doesn't win both the singles match he had and the triple threat match he had at WrestleMania. So he should be moving on from this, right? Why all of a sudden is Daniel Bryan now being that, going back to being that guy that wants to put people over, and he's being Cesaro's hype man? Which is very weird. And then to have Roman challenge him instead of Cesaro, who has worked his ass off, and then Bryan, who's trying to push Roman and Adam Pearce to give Cesaro that opportunity, Bryan accepts? Is he trying to get the new talent over, or is he trying to go in business for himself still? So weird and so confusing. And then again, and I'll be honest, with that booking, I don't blame people like Tyler or other people who are getting tired of Bryan getting these title shots. Because, when he was getting constant opportunities, it was the story on the Authority, that was a storyline that actually was, the reason why, because Bryan kept getting screwed, and we all knew that Bryan could win. Yes, we know Bryan can beat Roman because he got Roman to tap out at Fastlane, but same time, it's Bryan just doesn't feel like that same underdog he was back in 2014 in the storyline. Like I said, the story that they've had to tell with Bryan and Reigns was just a simple history between them, dating back to 2015, where Roman was supposed to be accepted by the crowd starting then, and instead they still wanted Bryan. And when Roman said how he never liked Bryan, it's that's where you can tell that story. That's the big reason why, because the fans rejected Roman and picked Bryan when Roman was getting a shot at the top. But now it's just it's too late to tell that story. And now Daniel Bryan's just, again, I love the guy to death, but kind of been both like an inconsistent past. Like, his title opportunities are starting to get a little, I'm going to say a little too much. But the match next Friday is basically Bryan's last shot. And if he loses, he's banished from SmackDown. So I don't know if that's his retirement match or what it's going to be. But I'm going to do live reactions for that match next Friday. I'm going to do live reactions. And, we'll see how it ends. I mean, I don't see Roman dropping it. But it was just weird. It's like Bryan's fighting for Cesaro. But then he then steps in front of Cesaro as soon as Reigns challenges Bryan. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if again, I still think they should go. They should not just throw Reigns and Cesaro at WrestleMania Backlash and that be it. No, I feel like this build, like maybe to Money in the Bank. Reigns and Cesaro at Money in the Bank, I think should happen. Or if Reigns is still going to continue to avoid Cesaro, again, build Cesaro up as the one, maybe to be the one to dethrone Reigns. If they want to go as far as Cesaro having to go as far as getting the Money in the Bank briefcase to get that opportunity, where Roman can't stop Cesaro from getting that chance, I honestly would go that route. I think, again, hold off on Roman and Cesaro until, heck, don't do that Money in the Bank. Again, have it be, again, have basically Roman just, avoid Cesaro at all costs. And if you want to wait till SummerSlam, do it at SummerSlam. That's what I gotta think. But yeah, I don't think this booking with Bryan the past few months has been very weird, but there's still some good potential to the storyline. And it's 5:34 now, so I gotta get going in about 10-15 minutes. So I'm gonna cut it off here. But that's my review of SmackDown. I gave it a C+. Decent. Stuff with Alistair, we'll see where it goes. Roman, Cesaro, Bryan, a little wonky, but there was some good to it. And everything else was just whatever. So I gave it a C+. Before I check the live chat, just a reminder, tonight, even though I don't watch Impact Wrestling all the time, I'm going to my friend Joe Miller's. We're going to watch Impact Rebellion tonight together. And I will do live reactions during the Deonna Purrazzo and Tennille Dashwood Impact Knockouts Championship match. And also the main event, Rich Swann, Kenny Omega, in a title for title match in the main event of Impact Rebellion. So expect to see those live reactions today. No review, of course, because I don't really watch Impact, but just for something different, I'm gonna do that tonight. So yep, be sure to stay tuned for that. Let me just check the live chat before we go off the air here. I did hear Ronda Rousey is pregnant. About time, because she went away at WrestleMania 35 for impregnation vacations. It took 2 years, I think it was. Oh boy. Long time, but congrats, Ronda. But I guess she's not going to be coming back yet. But she's due in September, so maybe next year. Just maybe. What's taking WWE so long to bring back Becky Lynch? I'm surprised. I thought Becky would have been back after WrestleMania. Maybe they're waiting for later in the year. I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for Money in the Bank. Let's wait and see. Maybe. Who knows? What's up, JR? Is Aleister Black babyface or heel? Not sure yet. Probably heel for now, but we'll see as his character moves on forward. Cesaro versus Roman, WrestleMania Backlash. It's probably going to happen there, but I would still say hold off on it. Like I said, have, people been wanting to see Cesaro get that shot. Cesaro getting, you want to make it feel like that it's not going to be just like another, another challenger for Roman. Roman's just going to beat. No. I'd say you hold that off, have Cesaro go through more hoops. Have Cesaro win the men's Money in the Bank contract. Basically where Roman can't turn down Cesaro anymore. I'd say go with that. Really stack the deck against Cesaro and do that instead. That's why I'd still say. Who's in charge? Wait, we still got more here. Pat is stupid on commentary. That's right, I forgot to talk about that. Yeah, Pat McAfee's on commentary now for SmackDown. Whatevs. Even though I did like his feud with Adam Cole in NXT, I'll give him that. Commentary, we'll see. I don't know. Time to get Adam off TV. Who is in charge? Adam or Sonya? Who knows? It looks like Edge went back home, which I am surprised because I thought we'd be doing Bryan and Edge at WrestleMania Backlash. But if Bryan's going to be written off TV here, I don't know if we'll ever see Bryan versus Edge. I thought maybe for SummerSlam, but if Bryan's going to be written, because Bryan's definitely not winning the title off of Roman. I don't see that happening at all. Bryan is still going to business for himself, he says. And out of all people they could have picked to join Michael Cole on commentary, why did they have to pick Pat? Who knows? But I feel like he may not have been the worst. But who knows? But that's going to do it, guys. Again, tonight you'll see 2 live reactions from me on this channel. Again, the first one, Deonna Purrazzo, my girl who, well, can't say my girl works, I have a girlfriend, but the one who I got those happy birthday pictures from, and taking on formerly Emma, Tenille Dashwood. I'm excited to see both of them in action tonight. And Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega, title for title. Again, I'll do live reactions for both those matches during Impact Rebellion tonight. So guys, yep, that's going to do it. I got to make those graphics really quick, then I'm on my way up to Slippery Rock for the pay-per-view. So guys, once again, what are your thoughts on these SmackDown this week? Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBonnie3. Guys, I'll see you guys in a bit up at Joe's house. We'll do live reactions for both Deonna and Tenille, and then Rich and Kenny. And it should be a fun little treat. So until then, guys, I'm checking out. Have a great night. I'll see you all later. Peace out, everybody.